नित्यानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्याधिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि. Can two-way centers hear me? Can you guys hear me? North Carolina, please wave your hand if you can hear me. Girish? Toronto, can you guys hear me? Nityanandam, everybody, can you hear me? No? Okay, Girish can't hear. Toronto, can you guys hear me? Toronto? No, they can't. Okay. Nityanandam, can you hear me now? Yeah, I got it. Carolina can hear me. Thank you. No? Okay, Sarvashri is trying to ping something. Please ping Jnanatma. She's on the chat window. You can ping her and tell her whatever feedback. Toronto, can you guys hear me? Toronto Kailasam. Ohio, can you guys hear me? Bodhanama, can you hear me? Shall we try now? Is everybody able to hear me? Phoenix, can you hear me? Toronto, can you hear me? Toronto, please wave your hand if you can hear me. Ma Atma Kalanjali ma, can you hear me ma? Toronto. San Jose, can you hear me? Okay, great. Got that. Thank you. Okay. Ohio, can you hear me? Ohio? Great. Phoenix, can you guys hear me now? Okay, got that. Thank you. And Greensboro, can you guys hear me now? Got it. Thank you. Guadalupe, can you hear me? Okay, thank you. Okay. So a couple of cities just logged off, so we'll wait for a few minutes. Once they're up, we'll talk to them. Okay, everyone is up now, I think. Yeah. Okay, so we are ready to begin. Shall we start? Is everybody here? Let's do the prayer once again. I actually did the prayer at 10 o'clock our time, but most of us were not there on the audio, so we'll once again repeat the prayer. Nityanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrusham Tattvamasyadhilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Satgurum Tam Namami. All right. So, a very warm welcome to today's webinar. All of us, I know, have gathered today for enriching us and others for the May Inner Awakening celebrations. And today is indeed, for me also personally, a remarkable milestone, a day I'll remember. This is the first session I'm taking for the online cities and everyone after receiving the blessings of sannyas from Swamiji. Only when they were putting the Kavi chair, I realized, oh, for the first time I'm going to sit in a Kavi chair. So, it's indeed a very auspicious moment. And especially because today, Kala Bhairava Darshan we had in the Inner Awakening program. And I happened to ask blessings for all of us. And Kala Bhairava said, whoever is there in the webinar today, whoever it is, all of them will complete the May Inner Awakening very successfully, very happily. So it will be a very beautiful completion for each and every person who's connected to us today, in whichever form, in this webinar. So it's whether you're on a two-way, whether you're on a one-way, Ustream, in whichever form, we have people talking to us, listening to us today. Very clearly, Kala Bhairava said that all of them will be blessed by him, that they attend and complete the May Inner Awakening program very, very successfully. So I wanted to start today's session with this good news. So congratulations, all of you out there who are there. Consider you have completed the program. Because when Kala Bhairava says it, that's what it is. It becomes that, as all of us already know. So, before we get into the exact questions, a lot of us have sent questions. And before we get there, before we see what is it that we can do differently than what we are doing now, before we get to understand any of that, we'll first look at the first basic understandings about the principles itself. So I'll not go over what Swamiji has been sharing. I hope all of us have been following the morning satsang. Swamiji has been continuously, I think for the past 3 months, continuously speaking about the four tattvas in various different forms, in various dimensions where we can apply them in our life. Today we'll speak specifically to the context of this webinar. And the context of this webinar being, there are many of us out there very interested in coming and being enriched and taking a commitment to enrich life by participating in the May Inner Awakening Celebrations program. And somehow we have maybe some hindrances, some barriers that stop, that at the present moment look like will not allow us to complete the program. So the context of today's webinar is to enrich ourselves to powerfully stand up in the face of the impossible to make it possible. Really, Swamiji's whole life has been a shining example of just this one thing, standing up in the face of no possibility and somehow just being there all the time. It's not about him that I'm speaking, it's about each one of us that he holds. He holds each one of us, allowing us to stand up, making us, literally inspiring us every single day to stand up in the face of no possibility and showing us the path to possibility. So today's webinar's context is also the same. How do you make the impossible possible in your life? The impossible being, for many of us, it's impossible to have 21 days off. For many of us, it's impossible to even think of it in a dream to have $6,000 be available. So the impossible definition can be defined in so many ways for so many of us. For many of us, it's impossible to even talk about Swamiji or the mission anywhere inside the house. So coming out, stepping out of the house, not just to another place in your city, but to a faraway land called India, spending time there without the knowledge of the family seems impossible, isn't it? So today we will speak about what is it that we can do to have the impossible manifest as the possible. We'll look at what is the thin line that differentiates the both the dimensions called impossible and possible. So before we get there, quickly would like to speak about anything that seems impossible for us, seems so inside the context of one or more of the four tattvas not completely being expressed through us. At every single moment in time in life, continuously the space we are in is evolving. And when the space we are in is evolving, the capacity to express life, the capacity to breathe and live in life itself is expanding. So the four basic fundamental tattvas, the principles of life, which is integrity, authenticity, responsibility and enriching, also are continuously expanding inside us. So I would like all of us to begin today's session by considering that there is audio is totally distorted. Audio is distorted. Sarvashri, it's not clear. It's not clear. Okay, all right, got it. Thank you for sharing. Hamsa Swami. Alright, so whoever is watching us on Nityananda TV, I understand the audio is clear for you guys, but on two-way the audio is not clear. Okay, Sarvashri, can you hear me? Greensboro, Sarvashri. So we request you to please, you're not able to hear? No?
Check.
Nityanandam. Is it better now? Is it good now? Sarvashri, can you hear me now? Greensboro, is it better? No? So the first request I have for all the cities, if there is anything you would like to share, please don't share it on the common screen because that may disturb the others. Please kindly send your messages to Ma Jnanatma. So Greensboro, Girish, Chirantana and Sarvashri, all of you there, kindly don't share it on a common screen across cities. Instead, please send it to Ma Jnanatma so that we can work into it. Okay? All right. So starting from where I stopped, we'll start the session with this knowing, with this consideration that the basics of the four tattvas is not what we are going to talk now anyways, because all of us by now we have been listening it over and over again from Swamiji, so we'll not be speaking much about that. Quickly to share it in case somebody is completely new and they are also there participating in this session. The four tattvas, which are the Chatur Vedas of Nityananda Dhyanapitham as shared by Swamiji. The first one is integrity. Integrity is you fulfilling and honoring your word. The words and thoughts that you give to yourself and others, fulfilling those words as if the word is your life, fulfilling it that way, and in the process experiencing Purnatva, completion with you in life. That's integrity. Authenticity is you living to the peak of your capability at any moment in time and responding to life from who you believe yourself to be for yourself, from who you project yourself to be to others, and from who others expect you to be for them. So the three images we carry: my image about myself, the image I project about the others, the image I project about myself to others, and the image that others carry about me. In all these three dimensions, whichever is the highest possibility that I can live with at any given point in time, living to the highest capability of that, when I am there, living fully to that, then I am being authentic. That is authenticity. Responsibility. Guadalupe, can you hear me? Okay. Okay, so coming back to where we stopped. Authenticity is living to the peak of my capacity in every form that I exist. You and me exist in only these three forms as long as we live with the mind, which is we exist for ourselves. In the image we carry about ourselves, we exist for others. In the outer image, the inner image is the image you carry about yourself. Outer image is the image you project to others as you. And others' image is the image others carry about you. So these are the only three forms in which we exist in life. When we live to the peak of our capacity in all of these, then we are living in the space and state of authenticity. Then the third tattva is responsibility, where responsibility is living and responding to life from the understanding that you are the source of everything that's happening in and around you, and therefore you are responsible for all the happenings in your life inside and outside you. And then of course we have the final one, enriching, which is every moment in life continuously being committed to enriching, which is expanding myself and life around me continuously. These four principles put together as an as-lived experience is the space and state called enlightenment itself. So today we specifically, as I was sharing, the context of today's webinar is to look at how do I transition, how do I transform myself from the space of impossible to possible. As I said, what seems impossible for us to attend and participate in the May Inner Awakening Celebrations program, we look at how do I make that as a possibility and how do I manifest that as a reality. And inside of that we started speaking about the four tattvas. So first thing that we will look at, first thing to consider is whenever I am stuck with something in my life, whether that is a finance problem, whether that is a relationship, or whether that is a commitment at work, whatever that is, whenever I am stuck with something which I want to move forward to, leave and move, whenever I am stuck with a space where I feel, oh God, it's impossible to get out of this and get what I want, be very clear, the space of the four tattvas is not completely there where you are. It may be there to a certain extent. To live life itself, we will need the four tattvas to a certain extent. So the four tattvas may be available to a certain extent, but they are not there to the peak maximum of what's possible and available for you at that point in time. Only when the four tattvas are not resonating at their peak, at their maximum capacity, you will start experiencing being stuck with life. Being stuck with apparently something which seems impossible, where you feel, oh, this is impossible. I can't do anything about it now. I can't move forward from this. So the space of impossibility itself happens in me when I am not living up till the peak capacity of all the four tattvas. Means I'm not being at the peak of integrity, I'm not being at the peak of authenticity, I'm not being at the peak of responsibility, or I'm not being peak of enriching. When the peak is not happening in these four principles, you will automatically start experiencing a space where you have conflict or hindrance, or you feel stuck somewhere or the other in your life. So today, of course, we'll work specifically with relationship to May Inner Awakening Celebration program, but actually you can apply this to any aspect of your life. Be very clear, if you're not able to move and fulfill what you took on as a word, what you gave in the mission, when you do some kind of a seva, when you're working as a volunteer and you're not able to do it, be very clear, even in your life you will not be able to do it. Because life and what happens in the Sangha when you participate here, they are the two sides of the same coin. So today we'll now first look at the questions we have and look at the different situations. What are the different scenarios inside of which we have this experience of what? Experiencing the impossible space, where I know, oh God, nothing is possible beyond this. I have done everything I can do and still it's not happening. So we look at what to do, where to go, and how to make a difference to these areas. Can we see the questions first? Of course, you can also now submit questions. Please submit your questions on the Nityananda TV page. So on the Nityananda TV, right, if you scroll down, there is the Nityananda TV question form. So you can fill that form and you can submit it immediately so that we'll be able to discuss about that as well. Till that time, we'll actually see the questions we already have. We have quite a few questions they've been coming for the past few days. We've been receiving the questions. So we'll look at the questions that we already have. First question is from Chennai, India. Jay Kumar is asking, today I had registered for the May 8th Inner Awakening by paying rupees 5,000. I am earning 20,000 per month and I'm worrying about the remaining payment. Money, job, family, everything is a problem for me. Another problem is my wife who doesn't know I am a devotee of Swamiji. I have to tell some reason for this 21 days. Please help me. Okay, I don't know if Jay Kumar is there on NTV on One Way. I hope he is there and he is listening. If not, we'll of course write back to him about this. I know this is such a common issue across for most of us. For how many of you this is an issue where finance is an issue? You'll not be able to make the travel or the $6,000 or in some form or the other finance is an issue. Raise your hand. See, almost more than 50% of us have this as a very practical problem in our life. The first thing that we need to really understand, Swamiji always speaks about this. Almost every Inner Awakening, every N-Wealth program, Swamiji speaks about this and shares how wealth is just matter. In whichever form wealth exists, whether it's finance, whether it's money, whether it's cash, property, Swamiji always reminds it's just matter. And it is always junior, means lesser than the power of your consciousness. So I would once again like to remind ourselves of that very profound statement Swamiji always makes, that wealth is always lower than who you are. The space of the consciousness that you are, if you can just tap into that space and awaken that consciousness in you, wealth actually will not be able to stand in front of you like this powerfully. Wealth cannot pose as an issue in your life anymore, because wealth is matter at the end of the day. It is just mere matter. It doesn't have any, in capital letters, it doesn't have any independent, individual merit of its own. For its merit, for its life, for the importance that it has, wealth has to depend on us, on you. So independent of you, wealth doesn't have any kind of a price. It doesn't have any kind of a value. Only you assign the value to wealth, only you propagate it and you live it. That's the first thing I want all of us to understand. Now, second thing, wherever again in life you are stuck, in this case, if I take the example of finance, look and see whether you are living all the four tattvas in this aspect of your life. So are you being in integrity with the finances that you are receiving and managing and spending? Are you fulfilling all the words that you have given? Whether it's a word where you gave someone, you took a big loan and you gave it to them, or it is a small word where you told your brother or your child or your friend, I'll buy an ice cream for you. Irrespective of what the magnitude, the depth of that word, the measure of that word, whether it's a big one or a small one, first thing is make a list of all the things that you have, all the words that you gave in terms of finance and wealth, and see where all you have missed being in integrity with it. Have you paid your bills on time, for example? Because that's integrity. You have agreed that you'll pay the bill by, this date, you'll have to pay the bill by that date. Did you miss that? Did you miss anything else in wealth?
And if you see, you will find out so many things will be there. So first thing is make a list of all of those. Now in the webinar itself, we may not have time to sit and work on the process. So I will ask you to please note it down. Whatever we are talking, it has to be practically applied and lived. So please note down the steps. First is make a list of all the integrity issues that may be there in the aspect of finance, in the aspect of wealth. Once you get that, start restoring completion to each single point. So if you said, oh, I told my daughter last week, I'll take her to a movie, and you've not done that, then you've not been in integrity with the word you gave. You said you will take her for a movie, you will sponsor, you will go with her. So now complete that. Either call her and tell her you're not going to do it, or tell her when you're going to do it. But don't leave it in middle hanging. So first is look at all aspects of wealth in whichever form they exist in your life, and identify all the integrity issues that may be there. And now declare completion, do the completion process, and from now on declare if you want to be in integrity, you will be in. If not, declare I'm not going to be, and complete with it. That's the first thing you need to do. Next, as I said, any aspect of your life when you are stuck, it only means one thing, that you'll have to raise the bar of being integrated, being authentic, being responsible and enriching. You'll have to continuously expand in understanding and living the tattvas as you start experiencing an expanded life. Are you guys getting this? If you're getting what I'm saying, please wave your hand so that I'll know that you're able to listen and understand what I'm saying. See, just like everybody's getting it, great, got that, thank you. See, just like Hamsa Swami, can you increase the mic volume? The one that I'm having. See, just like how when I am going on a cycle, a normal bicycle on a road, that needs a certain level of integrity, isn't it? An integrity with having a tire which is good and working, an integrity of, I being in a condition where I can properly do the cycling. It needs few things for me to be running with integrity with that cycle. But the moment I transition myself, move from a cycle to a bike, let us say, is it the same integrity that's needed? No. Isn't it? For a cycle, if I need a 200 rupees maintenance, let's say, $5 you need to maintain a cycle. The moment it upgrades to a bike, to a motorbike on the highway, it becomes probably $100. So the integrity, authenticity, responsibility moves up when you go from a stage of a cycle to a bike, to a motorbike. Now from a cycle to a motorbike, when I have moved to a car, will the integrity be the same? The words I give, the maintenance part, the way I manage it, the authenticity I have with that, everything goes up, isn't it? Because now I know $50 won't be enough. Probably I'll need $5,000 to maintain a car over the month. And same way, when I move to the next level, which is, let's say I'm flying in an aeroplane, I'm flying in a jet plane, obviously the integrity has to be much higher, isn't it? It cannot be the same as a cycle or a bike. The integrity when I'm flying an aeroplane has to be very high. I may need maybe thousands of dollars as I'm doing that journey to be prepared and ready. So the point with life also is the same. The more and more you are expanding in life, the more and more you will have to expand living the four tattvas as well. So wherever you're stuck, first retrospect and look in and see what is missing. One of the most important things that we unfortunately ignore as human beings is this thing called what is missing. Usually we are always stuck with what is already there. Look at your life and see all the issues that you face in your life. What do? Again and again you are rephrasing the same thing which is happening in different forms. First you will tell, oh, this is happening, I want to tell someone this is happening. Then you will say, oh, this is happening and I don't want it, I don't like this happening. Then you will say, oh, this is happening, let me go and take a blessing from someone. Let me go and, go to a church or a temple and pray. So in different forms, we are reiterating continuously what is already there. And that makes a zero difference. What really carries the day for you and makes a difference, what really shifts the reality of your life is doing what? Not looking at what is already there. Not acknowledging, oh, this has gone wrong, that has gone wrong, this is how it is, what a mess this is. No. But rather, looking at something which we often don't do, which is asking myself a question, what is missing? Are you guys getting this? Because only when something is missing, you're not getting the life of your dreams, isn't it? You're not able to create what you want because something is not right there. Means something is not happening the way you want it to happen. Even when we look at that, usually in life what we do, usually the way we look at the whole thing is continuously phrase what is already there and why it is not proper. But we often do not see the most important thing that is there to see, which is what is missing. So always when you have a conflict in your life, when you're stuck somewhere, the first, second, third question the only question you should ask is what? What is missing? So always look for what is missing. Don't look for what is already there because you are wasting your time and energy there. So what I would like to share for this question is look at the levels of integrity. Look at the levels of integrity, look at the levels of authenticity and responsibility and enriching continuously. Directly you will do that. Then second, always, whenever you are faced by a crossroad in life, whenever you're stuck in any kind of conflict in your life, the first thing you need to really ask yourself is, what is it that is missing? Just like when you make a fantastic dish, let's say you call someone for dinner and you've made the best, most tastiest, one of the best dishes. You've cooked very well, and at the end of it, just before serving the guest, you kind of put it in your mouth to taste it. And you saw salt is not there. You forgot to put the salt. Tell me, is there something missing? Of course there is. The moment I identify the salt is less in this soup, in this dish, and I add salt, what do you think will happen? The taste of that particular dish goes to a whole new level. Isn't it so? Yes or no? Just by the addition of little bit of salt, the whole taste will move up. Actually, the flavor, the taste of that dish comes out. So always in life, know for sure if life is not working the way you want it to work. If you're not able to get money, if you're not able to get leave, if something is not happening right, despite you having a very strong passion of wanting to come to IA, very clearly know, first thing to get is there is something missing. And start asking yourself that question, what is missing that is stopping me to get what I want? When you sit there and when you look in, most often, many times because of just the sheer authenticity where you are, you will start seeing what is it that's really missing. So Jay Kumar, first thing I want you to tell me, want you to ask yourself is, what is it that's missing? Just like how when the salt is missing, when you bring it, the whole dish, the taste of the dish goes to the next level. In your life, in all the conflict-filled areas, when you look at what is missing, you will just see that the moment you recognize something missing and you work towards bringing that, supplying that, the whole aspect, the whole dimension of reality of what you're dealing with in your life exponentially goes up. So what does this directly mean for a question where somebody is saying, I am earning only some 20,000 rupees per month, which is very less compared to the $6,000 that you need to pay for Inner Awakening. I understand. You'll have to pay 3 lakhs and you're now actually stuck with 20,000 rupees per month. So I understand it's a very genuine concern you may be having. But even there, I want you to understand, irrespective of the magnitude of the problem you think you are facing, just know very clearly something is missing, which is not allowing you to be powerful in your life. Because you are the most powerful, extraordinary energy that's available on the planet. If your energy cannot be used for something that you want, then something is really missing. So every time you're stuck, just first work on the question, what could be the reason that this is happening, in sense of what is it that is really missing. So even when Jayakumar is saying my wife is not connected, I don't know what to do, I would ask you to ask yourself what is missing. If I bring that, then this whole area will go to the next level. So always first live inside of what's missing. Is everybody getting this? It's a very simple thing, by the way. It's very simple. You just have to practice and see. You'll really see the difference. Is everybody getting this? Please wave your hand if you're getting what I'm sharing. Not everyone is waving. Toronto Kailasam, can you get what I'm saying? Are you able to hear me? Toronto? Toronto is not responding. Because unless they don't get this, I can't move to the next. Toronto, can you hear me? Why is this again and again slipping the...
Okay, can you hear me? Toronto, are you guys able to hear me? Toronto Kailasam, did you listen to the whole communication just now, what we spoke? Did you understand it? Please wave your hand. So I request everyone to listen. Because if you are not listening, you will not get what is happening here. If you are not listening, you are wasting your time. Atma Kalanjalima, kindly don't talk with one another. When the session is on, please listen. Because that listening will cause a breakthrough to you. You are together after the session, before the session also. If you're continuously chatting with each other, you won't get what I'm saying. We will get into detailed explanation. First, I want you to listen to whatever has happened so far. Once again, I'll speak about it. I was saying till now, look at what is missing. Every time you're stuck somewhere in life, just first ask the question, what is it that's missing? When I get to the question, what is missing, then I will know that I got to get the answer in terms of really what is missing in two ways. One is outside of me. There is always two spots. One is something outside me, one is something inside me, isn't it? So outside me, for example, let us say somebody is writing, I have to pay $1,000 and I don't have the money. So what is missing? Plain here. What is the plain straight thing missing? Money. Outside me, that $1,000 or the $5,000 or whatever money that I'm looking for is missing. In the same leg, look at the inner space as well. When that $1,000 is missing outside of you, you have to pay a deposit, you don't have the money. Example, inside you, what is missing? Do you get that? Inside you, there is something that is missing as an experience of that whole point. So when I'm not able to generate $1,000 and pay, let us say, inner awakening, when I'm not able to pay the inner awakening fee, outside me, what's missing is the money. Inside me, there is also something missing. In the face of being powerless, more than me not attending the program, it's an indication that my life is not working the way I want it to work. The moment that hits you, whether you know it or not. Great. Okay, so NTV is down. Request everyone to kindly wait.
Okay, NTV is working. I hope the others also can hear me. So I'll continue. So the moment you look at what is missing, in this example, when you say I don't have money to come to IA, obviously that's the first thing which is missing. If you look at it from there, outside of me, I don't have money to pay to come to the program. Inside of me, which mostly we ignore, we usually don't go in to see what is the experience I'm left with when I have a conflicting situation in life. Because we are so busy wanting to solve that conflict, we don't look in, we forget. So I would ask you to start looking in from now onwards. Whenever something in the outer world is not working for you, look in to see what is missing inside. So the moment you know that there is no money to pay for IA and you really want to come for IA, look in and see at that point what is missing for you, which can expand you. And most often you will see all your responses to life, when something is not possible, will leave you with a very low energy inside you. Either you will feel sad, you will feel bad, you will feel depressed. Various forms of low energy starts happening in you, and that is incompletion, isn't it? Any low energy happening inside me is equal to me being incomplete with life. So when I look at what is missing outside me, also look at what is missing inside me. This is the new shift you need to bring. Okay, outside me money is not there. Okay, outside me 21 days leave is not there. Yes, wife is there, she is not agreeing. She will not agree. Inside you, when all these are happening, look in and see what is it that's missing inside you. And you will be able to identify you're either angry or you're sad or you feel depressed, distressed. You know, you'll have some kind of a trauma. Something will be there inside which will be a low energy emotion. And the first thing you need to do is shift that space. Again and again Swamiji has been speaking about this space. The first thing you need to do is really shift the space. What space? The inner space from which you are operating in life. So from the space where you are seeing something is missing, means in the inner space I know joy is missing, bliss is missing, I'm not happy because I'm so worried. I'm stuck somewhere, isn't it? Now, speaking from that space, standing there, the second thing you need to do after looking at what is missing, the moment you see what is missing, you'll identify, oh, this is not there outside. Inside me, this is the experience, I'm unhappy, I'm whatever that is, you know, the different things that may come up. The moment that is there, stand inside and ask yourself the next most important question, which is, what is possible now for me? One is what is missing. The next is what? What is possible? Are you guys getting this? The second thing you may want to ask yourself, you may want to contemplate on is, this is the situation, these are the limitations. What is possible now? Usually we don't look at it that way. Usually we are so lost in the whole circus of the situation, you know, in that whole back and forth, continuously thinking. We just are so lost in all that that we often do not look at the right solution, which is looking at what is possible in the face of this situation. This is all I have in my hand. Right now, I have only $1,000 in my hand and I need to get $6,000. In the face of this current situation called I have only $1,000, what is possible? In terms of what? What is possible in still making my reality a truth for myself? And I'm presuming all the people sitting now, both on two-way and one-way, I'm guessing and I'm wanting you all to ask yourself, by the way, what is the basis on which you're actually going through this whole, you know, all experiences of life? What is the basis on which you're going through? Is the basis on which you're going through life going to be commitment to being happy, or is it going to be commitment to get in more and more reasons and suffer? You'll have to first ask that. If your commitment is to be happy and liberated and free, then you go ahead and apply these two things. One, look at what is missing. Two, look at what is possible in this exact same situation. I know this is missing. In the face of what is missing, what now is possible that I can do? find out that. So that would mean what? For example, if I have $1,000 and I know I have to pay $6,000, what is missing is very clearly I know there is a huge gap in the money, in the finance. After having seen that, when I go in and see what is the experience I'm having, now I'm able to pay only this much, and I'm so desperate, I so badly want to go to IA, and I'm not able to do so. So then look at what do you feel inside really when that feeling hits you. Maybe I feel like crying, maybe I feel sad, maybe I feel, oh God, terrible, because I'm not able to do what I want to do. Identify that situation. Do you get that? Make a note of that. That inside you, what is it you're dealing with and what is missing. So you will just see, as you're dealing with something called, oh, I don't have the money, I don't have people who can understand me, this and that and this and that, continuously inside of the words that are happening, what do you think is missing? What is really missing is maybe peace, maybe being calm, maybe being happy, maybe being content. It can be anything. But the moment you get what is missing, make a note of that. And then look at, after you've done these two, what is possible now which can still manifest my reality for me. Never, never give up. Don't give up in the first failure, second failure, 10th failure. Even if you've failed 100 times, know that the final success lies round the corner. You know, right next to the next failure, the final success can happen. So always remember that and move on in life without being stopped by a so-called failure. It's very important not to be stopped. Making mistakes itself is human. But stopping is not at all tolerated or accepted. Are you guys getting this? Please wave your hand if you're getting what I'm saying. Right? Great. So after, what are the steps? One is look at what is missing. What's the actual problem? Two is look at what's missing outside and what is missing inside you as an experience of what is happening outside. Three is look at what is now possible with exactly what is there with me or what is not there with me. So right now the ground situation is I have to pay $6,000 for May. I have 1,000 with me. Right now 5,000 is not there with me. After getting that picture, get into what is possible now. If this is the situation, still is there a possibility of doing what? Of making that 1,000 into 6,000, because that's what you want, isn't it? You want to make the full payment and somehow come to India. So now look at what is possible in the face of what is missing. Let us say this is not there, the money is not there, the leave is not there. Still tell me, in the face of both, any of these problems, what is it that could be missing? What is it that you could bring in? What is possible? Once you get what is missing, look at what is possible, which when I bring into the whole space shifts, and slowly you will see a new reality emerge. So when I'm saying what is possible, look again at both ways. One is what's possible outside of me, which I can do, which will just help me get what I want. And what is possible inside me. As an experience, if I have suffering now, if I have doubt now, if I have fear now, look at what is possible to get into the inner space. Because you only allowed the fear, doubt and all that also. What is it that I can now empower and allow inside me as a possibility to exist? Look at that. The moment you write it down, you will actually begin seeing it becomes clearer and clearer. Do we get this? So what is possible inside is probably more easier to get. Okay, you will say, oh, I'll be happy, and you will probably be in that space for some time. But outside of you, you don't know what to do. What is it that I need to do? So just, it's a plain, simple fact. If what is missing is $5,000, I'm taking example of May IA. Inside you, look at what is missing. Number one, you may be feeling dull or bored or unhappy. Then obviously sit and first restore completion to that. Bring a shift in your inner space first. Drop all the negating emotions. Drop all the cognitions, the understandings that allow you to tell, oh God, this is difficult. Just drop all that. Clear? And then from there, look at what is now possible, both outside and inside. Outside, what's possible if I have $1,000 and I need 6,000? There are at least 10 ways in which I can get that 5,000 rupees. Yes or no? There is. If I look forward to that possibility and work it out, definitely it is waiting for me. It is there. Inside, what is missing? Inside, I need to constantly generate being in the space of Nityananda, which is eternal bliss. Let's say that is missing. Then do whatever you can to fulfill that. Be in the state of Nityananda, because that is your highest maximum potentiality. How can you do that? Do completions, sit with the mirror, every day watch morning satsang, take each other's help in your center. In so many forms, you can just handhold and get what is now possible. Are you guys getting this? When I get into the space of what is possible, there is one thing which will vanish from my space. What is that? What is that that will vanish from your space the moment you start living in the space of what is possible in the current situation that I'm in? You know what will vanish? The reasons that stop you from moving to the next level. All the reasons will just vanish. Whether the reason can be, oh God, how can I take a loan? Oh God, how can I sell my jewelry? Or oh God, what do I need to do? All these are reasons which don't allow you to do anything, by the way. Instead, if you can drop the reason, usually what do we do? Do you know what do we do usually? When there is a mind and a master, we always choose the mind. We drop the master. When there's a possibility and a no possibility, a reason, we always choose the reason. We drop the possibility. No wonder your life does not change. No wonder your life does not show signs of true transformation. Year after year after year after year, for years, your life has been exactly the same space it is. Stagnant and stinking. Just take on playing this for some days, take on practicing this. Whenever you're stuck, look at what is missing, look at what is possible, give power to possibility and kill the reasons. I tell you, you will just see yourself, boom, you'll just see moving up to the next level. So even in this situation, Jay Kumar is sharing, he's saying, I have a small family, I have money problems and I have a family to take care of. People in my house do not know. Jay Kumar, look at what is missing. What is missing is money. What is missing is mutual consensus, the understanding of your family. And what is missing is you don't know how to come out and 21 days do a program which you want to do. Then look at what is possible. What is possible in the area of money? 20 things are possible which you can do and still get the money. Correct? And of course, you will be, whatever is there, you will be doing in completion, because you're doing this whole process with awareness. It's not that you leave someone incomplete, you'll go to their house, you'll rob the money and you'll come. No. In the space of possibility, there can only be completion. So for the money, when you're sitting and looking at what is it that's possible, new doors will open up. Same way, when you're looking at some issue called my wife doesn't know, she is not connected to Swamiji, I have to somehow go, what do I do? There also ask yourself, what is possible? The possibilities can be multiple. It can be, okay, what's possible is right now I have to sit at home and listen to my wife. Okay. Or what's possible is I can tell a lie, I can do something, I can tell I'm going for a business trip and I can go. Okay. What you do is one thing. How you do is important. If you are established in completion and clarity that you are going to live up to your word, you will just fulfill what Swamiji is asking you to do. I tell you, nothing will act as a barrier in your life anymore. So every step, look at what is possible that I could do. There's a possibility I can tell a lie, I'll tell a lie and go. If there's a possibility of something else, I'll do something else. Because thankfully, fortunately, each one of us is actually working for the highest thing available for human beings. We are not speaking about doing some, telling a lie or doing something for going for a movie with someone. I'm not speaking about a one-night movie you will go, or maybe a dinner you will go with someone. Isn't it? I'm speaking about a very profound opportunity of being grounded, entangled, connected, lifted to the space of a rare living incarnation. Especially the May Inner Awakening, Swamiji has blessed and told many times, it's going to be very extraordinary and powerful. Every day he tells me this, by the way. Every single day, at least once he'll tell me. Because the group is very large. We are going to have like, imagine over 1,000 people doing. So Swamiji is so clear, the group energy will be very high. And he's told me, anyone who participates in this May that their energy is something else. It's not like anyone else. Because of the group that will be there. 1,000 people sitting at the same time and doing unclutching meditation. Can you imagine what it will be? It would have moved you by kilometers. Because the intensity of a group is far higher than intensity of an individual. Are you guys getting this? So know that the end result, the goal for which you are working is merging into enlightened consciousness itself. So it's worth every possibility. It's worth exploring every single possibility. So when you see money is missing, ask yourself, what is the possibility I have in money? Maybe I can take a loan or do something else or do something else. I'm sure you will get an opening. If at all you chose to look at possibility and not at reasons. Same way with telling a family member. If you're working from a space of possibility, you will just know what is the right thing to say and do for you to come, and people will not be offended. There won't be any, big war in your house. You will just know. Is this clear? Obviously, I'm not giving complete direct answers because I have not worked in their life. I have not seen what all they're facing. I'm only reading an email. I'll still, when I'm sharing the tips, I would ask you to please experiment with this within the next 24 hours so that you can begin to see the power of this, what we are talking now. Clear? Cities, wave your hand if you're clear. Okay, so again and again I have repetitive questions. First is leave, 21 days leave. Second is money. Third is how do I, tell my wife or tell my parents or tell someone in the house. Every step I will urge you to look at again the same thing. What is missing? Which is there in your question. You told me leave is missing. I can't take a leave. I don't have money. All that is missing outside. Look at what is missing inside. When you don't have the leave, when you don't have the money, what's happening inside? How are you feeling? Are you depressed? Are you dejected? Do you feel sad? Do you feel desperate, anxious? Whatever that is, write down. And then look at it holistically. Here is an anxious mental state that I'm going through, a depression that I'm going through, or I feel so bad. In the face of, with this inner space, I am looking at a situation where I don't have a leave, where I don't have money to go to India. Now look at what is possible. If this is the mental state that you are crying and depressed that you can't come, and the physical aspect of it around you, outside you, is that you don't have 1 rupee left with you, then ask yourself, still what is possible? Trust me, still something is surely possible. You guys get this? The sheer joy of being alive. Just because you're alive, no possibility is always open for you. You're not dead. As long as you're breathing in your body, know the door of possibility is always open for you. And nobody can deny that from you. Swamiji was sharing in the morning, possibility is our birthright. Completion is our birthright. He's been sharing a lot about these things. Really, the space of possibility is available for all of us as long as we are breathing. So I would encourage you to always continuously look at what is the possibility from where I can now respond to this current situation called no money, wife is not agreeing, this is not happening, that is not happening. You will have to do it authentically, and you will see you will have a breakthrough. Physically, even money will walk and come into your hand. If you are really committed to living the tattvas to the next level. Clear? Please wave your hands if you're getting this, what I'm saying. Are you guys getting this conversation? Wave your hand. Okay. So again, we have a very good question from Sarvashri. He is asking, why do some requests and blessings get fulfilled and others do not? The direct answer is the same thing again, Sarvashri. The requests and blessings that come from a pure, unshakable, unwavering, authentic space of possibility just become reality. Undoubtedly, they just become reality. There's no question that they won't be. But even if there is a 0.00001% of reason that is there, which can be there in the path of possibility, be very clear, that request will not manifest itself. Because always what manifests through you, for you in your life, is what is happening in the subtlest will that you carry inside you. Are you guys getting this? Will, W-I-L-L. The subtlest will is the is the innermost thought that I have about the reality that I am having in my life. Swamiji has told this many times in private meetings to us. It is only your will that stands in the way of your destiny. There is no other destiny, there is no other reality. Even standing on the road, you can just make a palace happen. If only your will resonated with that possibility. So you got to really resonate with the possibility of inner awakening completing for you, not even happening. Don't make a possibility, I have to make is by the end of today I have to pay $50 as the registration fee. No. Just know that the highest possibility available for you is your really overflowing, you're crying in gratitude on the 21st inner awakening, the 21st day, hugging Swamiji during Energy Darshan, thanking him for everything he's done in the past 20 days. That is possible. I will ask you not to settle down with anything less than that. Are you guys getting this? Sarvashri, does that answer your question? Do you get what I'm saying? Sarvashri? Always the blessings and requests which get fulfilled are the blessings and requests where your complete will, right from to your bone marrow level, your whole will, complete thought frequency is only vibrating with the possibility of the outcome already have happened. You know, the outcome is already accomplished. In that possibility, when you stand and make a blessing or make a request, automatically it fulfills itself. And it just happens in your life. Are you guys getting this? Somebody had asked Swamiji actually, same thing. Why do some get healed? Why don't some get healed? When I was in inner awakening, it was working. Now I came back home, it is not working. Swamiji very clearly said, only when you are in the maximum space of possibility, which you are when you sit in inner awakening with me, because Swamiji's energy is also constantly pushing you. So more and more and more authenticity happens to you. So in the inner awakening, people are in a different space of possibility. Unfortunately, when they go out, unfortunately, the moment you leave the program and go, the space of possibility starts getting eroded and evaded by what? The space of reasons. We live in a very, very, very reasoning world. A world which can give me 10,000 reasons why something is not possible. The moment a 0.001% of, oh, this is not possible, the impossible creeps into my inner space, finish. That's the end of the road of transformation for me. So continuously challenge yourself, urge yourself, inspire yourself and others to continuously resonate again and again and again. Bring yourself back to what is possible. Only breathe possibility. Even in the worst impossible situations, your cognition should be so strong and looking only at possibility. Only possibility. Only possibility. I tell you, that's the only way you can always manifest a reality which you want. It is not because there are less number of zeros in your bank balance. Trust me when I say this. It is not because of that. It is only because of your pure will moving, wanting to move, or moving with a space of not possible happening. If you shift that, you will just see a mountain can move and walk up to you and come. Is everybody getting this? It's very important that you get this. And that is why I know when we are with Swamiji, continuously he is observing us. You know, he will just look for the first statement that comes out of our mouth. So many times I've seen this. He will give some huge task. He will not even be bothered whether I am committing to do that or not. He will only continuously hit at the space from which I am talking. You know, the moment a 0.01 hesitation comes, that's it. He will lash us out. He'll just say, no. No. You know, I've so many times noticed he will become double serious. The moment there's any hesitation, he'll say, Manisha, we'll have to do this. From tomorrow you start this, and start that will be some, God knows how much of something, huge thing according to me, right? So much of work. I have to go through some, 20 steps to get that done. Within the next half an hour or 20 minutes or 1 hour or sometimes 20 hours also is not enough. And the moment I don't talk, he just knows that hesitation has come. That's it. He'll say, Manisha, you have to do it. That's all. You know, he'll immediately become more, how do I tell it? You know, he'll bring a certain kind of a heaviness to the whole thing. And he'll be like, yes, Swamiji. Yes, yes. He'll say, go. Go. By when will you complete? Tell me. He knows we can do it, but it's what to do. He should bring that will to the space of complete possibility. And then I'll be mentally calculating. He'll say, no, just go do it. It's happening. Right now, go and do it. Like that he'll say. And he will not leave till he has heard the yes from the space of possibility. And he will not give me the steps. He will never say, Manisha, do this first. Never. He will only wait to listen to that yes. And somewhere, usually it comes quickly. Sometimes, somewhere it goes. After some time when I say, yes, Swamiji, I'm doing it. He'll say, are you clear? You're committing? Yes, Swamiji. Go. It just happens, I tell you. It just happens. Exactly at that time, somebody will call, somebody will email, somebody will say something which is absolutely exactly what he is asking. It is waiting for me. I only have to get into the space of possibility and say a yes to it. And I tell you, this has not happened once, it has happened so many times with so many of us. I know Ma Jnanatma has so many examples in her life. Seemingly impossible tasks. When he said 1,000 people will come for May Inner Awakening, that itself was like one big impossibility for us. But he kept asking. But for me, most of the times, there's only a space of possibility. The moment he said 1,000, I raised my hand and said, yes, it's happening. But there were so many who didn't believe that. But today I know that reality has changed for everyone. At least in the ashram, I know that there is no more any ambiguity. Nobody has a second doubt that 1,000 people won't be there. 1,000 people are already there. Ma Shantatma says this always. She's not here. She thinks of it like this. She says, Swami has said 1,000 people will be sitting in May Inner Awakening. Means 1,000 people are already done. They've already paid, completed the program. We just need to choose which are the 1,000 now. That's all. The process we are doing is just select the 1,000 and say, hey, you are one among the 1,000. Come. Because they're already there. They'll just walk and come. So all we need to really see is our every single thought which expresses as a word outside of you, which happens as a thought inside of you, everything should be on the same line called what is possible now. Not about a reason why it is not possible, which usually we get stuck inside of. Are you guys getting this? Are you guys understanding this? And for this, you'll have to, Sarvashri's question, how do you know when your completions are done? I will know the completions are done just based on how much I can resonate. The degree to which I can live in the space of possibility is the degree to which I am complete with everything in my life. Because what tells me it is not possible, or the reasons or apprehensions that tell me something is not possible are coming from where? Jnanatma? From where are they coming? Reason that stops me from living in possibility is coming from where? From a past experience. From some past experience which has been incomplete for me and which is holding my neck, will never allow me to get into possibility in this moment. So Sarvashri, directly by knowing that I am moving in the space of possibility 100%, I know I am complete with life 100%. Period. Over. That's all. That's all is there. So if you are not there fully, you will know, obviously, isn't it? When you have a doubt in your mind, when you have reasons in your head, already you will feel low. That moment, no, some past is sitting in you right now and it is ruling the show for you, and therefore there is some incompletion where you are. If you are totally complete with your past, you will not even stop in the face of death happening to you physically. You will still accomplish what you said, what you declared, and only then you will die. Let me once again remind you of the story which happened between Shankara and his disciple. Shankara is sending one of his disciples to this remote place in India to establish Shankara's mission there. And these were the days when Shankaracharya, all over India he had enemies. Because Hinduism was not, the advent of Hinduism fully was not there. And lot of Jainism, Buddhism was there. And they were complete staunch enemies to Hindus. For whatever reasons, there were a lot of enmity and all that brooding in between the two castes. The Hindus, the Jains, the Buddhists. So actually Shankara was sending this disciple to a Buddhist land to open what? To open a Shankar Mutt, which is a out and out Hindu organization. So the disciple comes to take the master's blessings the previous night and says, Master, I need your blessings, tomorrow I'm going. Shankara says, okay, do you know where you're going? He says, yes, Master, I'm going to this place. Shankara says, do you know what's going to happen there? Do you know what's there for you waiting? When you go, they may not even give you a drop of water. What will you do then? Then he says, Master, I am going only with a deep, unshakable gratitude. Because if Master is sending me there, already the mission is there. I am just being a bridge. I am just going there to see how the mission is already there. So that's the gratitude I carry for you. So if somebody is not giving me water, I will fall at their feet, express gratitude that they are not beating me up. At least they are not physically causing injury to me. Then Shankara says, what if they beat you? They are capable of violence. They are capable of violence. What if they beat you? Then this disciple says, Master, if they beat me, I will still express gratitude. I will fall at their feet telling them they are at least keeping me alive. They have not killed me. As long as that breath is happening in me, I can still carry your mission, because my every breathing is a statement of your mission. Then Shankara says, how do you know? They can just kill you. They can just beat you up and up to death. What will you do then? Then he says, the last moment when I am going to leave the breath, no, when they kill me, I will fall at their feet, wash their feet with my blood, thanking them for dissolving the only barrier that exists between you and me, this body. Because then at death I have merged into you, and I will be doing whatever I am doing now in a much deeper way, and still accomplish what you asked me to do. I will really be grateful to them. Shankara says, you are there. Go, you are ready. And obviously he had just 4 disciples, and they went ahead and they were the founders of thousands of Shankara's mission, the Shankar Mutts. That is the space of possibility. The space of possibility which doesn't allow you to die in any situation. Whether you're put in a desert, whether you're put in an ocean, whether you're in the Pacific, whether you're in the Sahara, there's not a drop of water around you, or there's an ocean of water around you. Either ways you're drowning, you will stand up, because you are possibility. You are just standing up because you are the possibility of what? Of Swamiji's energy happening through you. So the underlying statement I want all of us to know is, I am a possibility of Swamiji himself. If Swamiji is living in this body, can a $6,000 stop me? Can 21 days stop me? Can a wife, husband, child stop me? You know the answer. Swamiji is the one who stands in making the impossible possible continuously in life, in his life. Every single day he makes at least one impossible into possible. Because he is saying, which he said the other day, impossible becomes possible when you say, I am possible. You just need to separate the I am from the impossible word. You have to take out the first 2 letters. So impossible becomes I am possible. And that's what Swamiji continuously teaches us. So I wanted to remind once again with all of us, share and ask you to practice this on whatever you're dealing with continuously. One time it may not happen. Don't give up. Going with what always Swamiji has been saying, don't give up on you. Don't give up on life. Don't give up on anything happening around you. Don't give up. Again and again, pull yourself back to the space of possibility. Look at what's possible. You don't have a rupee in your hands. Still what is possible. And you will see possibility makes itself happen. And you will start shifting the reality of your life. What's possible could be a loan, could be asking someone, could be working. I don't know. I don't know a direct solution to what all can come your way. But I know for sure, only thing you need to do is look at what is it that is possible. How many of you are getting this conversation? Please wave your hand. Are you guys clear on what? Do you think this has made a difference? Whatever little, we spoke very little today, by the way. But I tell you, whatever I spoke is straight out, hot from the shelf. Because I live this every single day with Swamiji. Every single day. Do you get this? Every single day, with every single project that he speaks about. He speaks about some in the morning satsang. He speaks about many outside morning satsang. And the first thing he'll do is, Manisha, first thing is that when some project is forming, he'll call. And when it is half formed, I'm expected to get that whole thing and finish it off. Because that is the pace. He doesn't work in any lesser pace, by the way. That is the pace at which he works. And sometimes I used to wonder, what is this hurry that he has? Such eternal hurry. He knows he is going to live 130 years. Then why does he hurry up? Why can't we take 1 month to do? Why should we do in one day? Then one day he gave a big knock on my head. Literally, when he just shared what he wants to do, 130 years is very less for that. And more than that, one day when he showed the magnitude in which the planet is suffering, only then I got, oh God, now I know why he is in a hurry. Because out there are so many human beings dying. I know why he lives in a cyclone mode all the time. Because every 1 minute I get to delay something, some lakhs of lives are dying. People are suffering. People are getting again and again into the life and death cycle. They're getting into, forget the mystical things, in the practical realm of the materialistic world itself, getting into drugs, getting into abuse, getting into violence, getting into God knows so many things. And I know that is why he's in a hurry. Not because he needs it. Obviously he's crossed everything. Ma, where is the thing is gone, video is gone, my video. Not because he needs it, but because he knows the world needs it. So this is what I wanted to share directly from my practical experience with Swamiji. Living around him for the little time that I've lived, what I learned is immensely huge. He never allows me to slip into a space called impossible. Continuously he only shares, and his life is an example of that. His life is an example of what is possible. He's an embodiment of possibility. And this is what I learned. This is what works in my life. So many things happen inside of this. I want to share what you're dealing with is not big at all. Whether it is a $6,000 or it's only 2-3 things you'll have. $6,000, 21 days, and a wife or a husband who's not allowing you. Top 3 things. Only then you may have other small things. But I tell you, they're easily shiftable, easily movable. Only thing you need to get is from within, inside out, vibrate with what is possible. If you can do that, I tell you, you have won the game. And once again, let me remind you before we sign off for today, Swamiji has personally blessed. And he's done this in Kala Bhairava Darshan when I asked, as he sat down from the Darshan today, we had Kala Bhairava. I asked him, when he was still in the Kala Bhairava thing only today, throughout the Darshan he was in that space. I told him that a lot of people are coming for this webinar, Swamiji, I want blessings. He said, it will just happen. Whoever comes, they will just be enriched. Take my word, it's happening. And he again shared this with the Enriching Temple team also, that whoever is watching this seminar today will complete the Inner Awakening May celebrations successfully, completely. Swamiji has said it, it's happening, I tell you. All you need to do is just take one step, and I promise you, you will see 10 steps going on their own. You take that one step, Swamiji will insert wheels. Then you can't stop. Then you'll be just running. You won't be able to stop, because that's the energy he pushes into you. He just pushes energy. I tell you, you just have to take that one step. That if you take confidently, I tell you, 10,000 steps become a matter of like this. With ease, it happens. I am a biggest example of that. I'm a person who used to sleep 8 to 10 hours a day, who used to eat some 5 meals a day, especially with pickle and rice. Now if it has become no meals, if it has become like 2 hours a day average sleep, past many months, 2 hours, 3 hours, it always hovers between 2 and 4 hours, less than 4 hours, continuously, and I am alive. I have not gone mad. I always used to think people will go mad if they don't sleep. I know I have not gone mad. And if it's his energy. He just, so much he puts, you just need to put that one step. And that one step is for each one of you to right now make the registration fee a minimum of $100. If you put, it is enough. I'm telling you, you can't get a better deal than this. You put $100 and you have 6,000 walking towards you your way. Because Swamiji has clearly, completely twice blessed. Put $100. He didn't say $100. We told him that this is what we are looking at, Swamiji. We are asking people to register. He said, whoever registers today, ma, they are completing Inner Awakening. They are my responsibility. So don't be in your head. Just go ahead. Start with living in the space of possibility from now. Right now, make the choice and the decision. You can't get a better deal, really. Nowhere in the earth you give $100, you'll get $6,000 back. Nowhere. But here you are getting, because this is God's land. And He will make it happen. Is this clear? So how many of you out there, raise your hand, you're clear, you're going to have you and others in your life pay that $100 now. The moment we are off this webinar, you're doing it. One is I'm telling, but I'm telling you this is a direct message from Kala Bhairava to each one of you. I'm not telling, I don't mince my words, I talk straight. Whatever he told, I'm just telling it to you as he told. You register today, everything will move aside. You are there in the program. Just know it. Don't miss this. Take this, just do it. So you can now register by paying the $100 I'm speaking about. Of course, always you can go for paying more. There's no upper cap to this. We are not saying only 100. You can pay 100, 500,000, 6,000, how much ever you can pay. And they have to log into that. Yeah, that's the website, the link through which you can make the payment, which is tiny.cc/MayIA. tiny.cc/MayIA. Okay, so with this, I think this webinar comes to an end. We'll definitely meet again. We are planning to have a series of these sessions, because there is so much which Swamiji gives us, which is not even given in the morning satsang. At least through these platforms, we have an opportunity to share that with the whole world, with all of you. We have an opportunity to relive those beautiful teachings and experiences we have with Swamiji. And this is a beautiful platform for all of us to move together in synergy, move up with the energy Swamiji is putting, and raise and fulfill Swamiji's Anyakara about each one of us. And of course, reaching the highest peak potential of who we are as human beings. So I hope today's session was worth your time, your attention and your energy. I know you all, today is a weekend for you guys. Weekend is one of the most precious times of the week. I have been in that spot for many years. Now, no day makes a difference. Now I don't even remember which is Sunday, which is Saturday. Only the morning Pada Puja chanting, because it is there, I know. Today is Stiravasara, Shukravasara. Today is Friday, today is Saturday. Like that I know. And that I don't miss any day, so I know every day. Otherwise, I don't think anything else in the day stands as a reminder for what day it is. But out there, I know in life, weekend is a very precious day. And you've taken few hours from your weekend. That means a lot for me. So thank you very much for choosing to be on this webinar. Once again, I urge and remind you to register now so that Kala Bhairava's blessings directly land on you and your life and transform your life into the reality you want to create and live with. Okay? So with that, we'll take leave. And anything else, please share your comments, your thoughts, your questions. Please do write back to Amma, they'll write to programs. Please write back to ia@nityananda.org with the subject line May IAC question or May IAC sharing, so that we know it's pertaining to the May Inner Awakening. Alright, so with that we'll end the session with the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sarvam Satguru Padukarpana Mastu. Om Nityanandam.
Sharanam Sharanam Nitya Gurune. Sharanam Sharanam Nitya Nitya Gurudeva Bhava Bhayaharana. Nitya Nitya Gurudeva Bhava Bhayaharana.
जीवन्मुक्तिप्रदं देवं
ಪರಮಹಂಸ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದರು ಒಬ್ಬ ಜೀವಂತ ಅವತಾರ ಪುರುಷರು. ಹುಟ್ಟಿನಿಂದಲೇ ಜ್ಞಾನವನ್ನು, ಪ್ರಬಲವಾದ ಜ್ಞಾನೋದಯದ ಶಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಅಭಿವ್ಯಕ್ತಪಡಿಸುತ್ತಿರುವ ಒಬ್ಬ ಯೋಗಿ. ಲಂಡನ್ನಿನ ಅತಿ ಹಳೆಯದಾದ ಮತ್ತು ಅತಿ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಭಂಡಾರವಾದ ವಾಟ್ಕಿನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಕಾಶನದವರ ವಿಶ್ವದಲ್ಲೇ ಅತಿ ಪ್ರಚಲಿತವಾದ ಹಾಗೂ ಗೂಢ ತತ್ವದ ಬಾಡಿ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸೋಲ್ ಪತ್ರಿಕೆಯು ಪರಮಹಂಸ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದರನ್ನು ದಲೈ ಲಾಮಾ, ನೆಲ್ಸನ್ ಮಂಡೇಲಾ, ಓಪ್ರಾ ವಿನ್ಫ್ರಿ, ಪಾಲೋ ಖಯಾಲೋ ಮತ್ತು ಇನ್ನಿತರರೊಂದಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಾದ್ಯಂತ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕವಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಭಾವಶಾಲಿಯಾಗಿರುವ 100 ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಒಬ್ಬರನ್ನಾಗಿ ಆರಿಸಿದೆ. ಒಬ್ಬ ಬಹು ಫಲಪ್ರದ ಸಾಹಿತಿಯಾಗಿ ಸುಮಾರು 500ಕ್ಕೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಪುಸ್ತಕಗಳನ್ನು ತೆಲುಗು, ಕನ್ನಡ, ಮಲಯಾಳಂ, ಹಿಂದಿ, ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ, ಗುಜರಾತಿ, ಒರಿಯಾ, ಬೆಂಗಾಲಿ, ಮರಾಠಿ, ಫ್ರೆಂಚ್, ಕ್ರೊಯೇಷಿಯನ್, ಪೋಲಿಷ್, ಪೋರ್ಚುಗೀಸ್, ಇಟಾಲಿಯನ್, ಜರ್ಮನ್, ಡ್ಯಾನಿಷ್, ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನಿಷ್, ರಷ್ಯನ್, ಚೈನೀಸ್ ಮೊದಲಾದ 26 ಭಾಷೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅವುಗಳ ಅನುವಾದವೂ ಸಹ ಲಭ್ಯವಿದೆ. ಸುಮಾರು 10,000 ಗಂಟೆಗಳಷ್ಟು ಗಹನವಾದ ಜ್ಞಾನವುಳ್ಳ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸಗಳನ್ನು ನೀಡಿರುವ ಸಮಾಜ ಸೇವೆಗಳಾದ ಉಚಿತ ಅನ್ನದಾನ, ಉಚಿತ ವೈದ್ಯಕೀಯ ರಕ್ಷಣೆ, ಉಚಿತ ವಿದ್ಯಾಭ್ಯಾಸ ಹಾಗೂ ವಿಶ್ವದಾದ್ಯಂತ 140 ಸ್ಥಳಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಥಾಪಿಸಲಾದ ಆಶ್ರಮಗಳು, ಶಾಲೆಗಳು, ದೇವಾಲಯಗಳು, ಆಸ್ಪತ್ರೆಗಳು ಅತ್ಯುತ್ತಮವಾದ ಸೇವೆಗಳನ್ನು ನೀಡುತ್ತಿವೆ. ಅವರ ಧ್ಯಾನ ಚಿಕಿತ್ಸೆಯ ಮೂಲಕ ತಲೆನೋವಿನಿಂದ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ವರೆಗೆ ಲಕ್ಷಾಂತರ ಜನರನ್ನು ಗುಣಪಡಿಸಿರುವ ಒಬ್ಬ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕ ಚಿಕಿತ್ಸಕ. ಮಾನಸಿಕ ಸ್ವಾಸ್ಥ್ಯತೆಯನ್ನು ತಂದುಕೊಡುವ ಕ್ರಿಯೆಗಳನ್ನು ರೂಪಿಸಿರುವ ಒಬ್ಬ ಕ್ರಿಯಾಯೋಗಿ. ದಿನನಿತ್ಯದ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಜೀವನೋಪಾಯದ ಪರಿಹಾರಗಳನ್ನು ನೀಡುತ್ತಿರುವ ಒಬ್ಬ ಜೀವಂತ ಜ್ಞಾನಿ. 151 ದೇಶಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಧ್ಯಾನ ಕೇಂದ್ರಗಳನ್ನು ಬಿಡದಿ, ತಿರುವಣ್ಣಾಮಲೈ, ರಾಜಪಾಳ್ಯಂ, ಸೇಲಂ, ಹೈದರಾಬಾದ್, ವಾರಣಾಸಿ, ಲಾಸ್ ಆಂಜಲೀಸ್, ಸಿಯಾಟಲ್, ಒಹಾಯೋ, ಸ್ಯಾನ್ ಹುಸೆ, ಫೀನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೇರಿದಂತೆ 40 ದೇಶಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಆಶ್ರಮಗಳನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರುವ ಅಂತಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಾದ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದ ಧ್ಯಾನಪೀಠದ ಸಂಸ್ಥಾಪಕ. ಸುಮಾರು 1 ಕೋಟಿಗೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಅನುಯಾಯಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಒಬ್ಬ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕ ಗುರು. ದೀಕ್ಷೆಯ ಮೂಲಕ ಶಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ರವಾನಿಸುವ ಓರ್ವ ಅವತಾರ ಶಕ್ತಿ. ಸಾವಿರಾರು ಯೋಗ ಕೇಂದ್ರಗಳ ಮೂಲಕ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಾದ್ಯಂತ ಪುನಶ್ಚೇತನಗೊಳಿಸುತ್ತಿರುವ ಆಧುನಿಕ ಯೋಗಿ. ಅಸಂಖ್ಯಾತ ಜನರ ಕುಂಡಲಿನಿ ಶಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಜಾಗೃತಗೊಳಿಸಿ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕ ಶಕ್ತಿಗಳನ್ನು ಅನುಗ್ರಹಿಸುತ್ತಿರುವ ಸಿದ್ಧ ಪುರುಷ. ಭಾರತದಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು, ಹೈದರಾಬಾದ್, ತಿರುವಣ್ಣಾಮಲೈ ಹಾಗೂ ವಿಶ್ವದಾದ್ಯಂತ ಲಾಸ್ ಆಂಜಲೀಸ್, ಸ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿಯಾಟಲ್, ಟೊರಾಂಟೊ, ಒಹಾಯೋ, ಒಕ್ಲಹಾಮಾ, ಫೀನಿಕ್ಸ್, ಸೇಂಟ್ ಲೂಯಿಸ್, ಮಲೇಷಿಯಾ, ಬ್ರೆಜಿಲ್, ಪ್ಯಾರಿಸ್, ಗ್ವಾಡಲೂಪ್, ಡ್ಯಾಲಸ್, ನ್ಯೂಯಾರ್ಕ್, ನ್ಯೂಜೆರ್ಸಿ, ಅಟ್ಲಾಂಟಾ, ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಗರಿ, ವ್ಯಾನ್ಕೋವರ್, ಸಿಂಗಪುರ್ ಮುಂತಾದ ಸ್ಥಳಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ವೇದಿಕ ದೇವಾಲಯಗಳನ್ನು ನಿರ್ಮಿಸಿ ವೇದ ಸಂಪ್ರದಾಯವನ್ನು ಪುನಶ್ಚೇತನಗೊಳಿಸುತ್ತಿರುವ ಒಬ್ಬ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಪುರುಷ. ಇಂದಿನ ಯುವ ಪೀಳಿಗೆಗೆ ಆದರ್ಶಪ್ರಾಯವಾಗಿರುವ ಚೈತನ್ಯ ಪೂರಿತ ಯುವ ಗುರು. ವಿಶ್ವದಾದ್ಯಂತ ಅತಿಯಾಗಿ ವೀಕ್ಷಿಸಲ್ಪಟ್ಟ ಭಾರತದ ಗುರುಗಳು. ಧಾರ್ಮಿಕ ಹಿಂಸಾಚಾರ ಹಾಗೂ ರಾಜಕೀಯ ಕಿರುಕುಳಗಳನ್ನು ಧೈರ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಎದುರಿಸಿ ವಿಜಯ ಸಾಧಿಸಿದ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶಕ ಜ್ಯೋತಿ. ಪರಮಹಂಸ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದರು ಪ್ರಾಪಂಚಿಕ ಸಮೃದ್ಧಿ ಹಾಗೂ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕ ಜ್ಞಾನೋದಯವನ್ನು ಇಡೀ ಪ್ರಪಂಚಕ್ಕೆ ವರವಾಗಿ ಅನುಗ್ರಹಿಸುತ್ತಿರುವ ನಿತ್ಯ ಕಲ್ಪತರು.
क्षमापूर्णं जगद्गुरुं वन्दे परमहंसाख्यं नित्यानन्दाय स्वागतम् आनन्दानुभवास्वादं सर्वरोगनिवारकं वन्दे पापविनाशक्तं नित्यानन्दाय स्वागतम् आनन्दानुभवास्वादं सर्वरोगनिवारकं वन्दे पापविनाशक्तं नित्यानन्दाय स्वागतम्.